I'll never forget the look on my mother's face. It was a mixed expression: worry, doubt, and maybe a little fear. "Are you sure?" she had asked. "A pit bull? Really?" Her hands were clasped together, biting her lip. I knew it. Thousands of headlines were spinning in her head. Aggressive dogs, dangerous breeds, uncontrollable animals. But I had already made my decision. When I first saw him on the shelter website, my heart stopped. It was a small photo, blurry, poorly lit. But those eyes, those deep brown eyes, were telling me something. He had been found with his siblings in the back of an old pickup truck. Abandoned, forgotten, but alive. The shelter had rescued them, and now they were all waiting for a new home. I set off on a 2-hour journey, without hesitation. The adoption coordinator suggested meeting him in the park. "See him in a natural setting," she said. "That way you'll understand his true character." My heart was pounding as I waited. Then I saw him, a medium-sized brown and white pit bull with his ears pulled back. He wasn't running toward me. He was approaching me slowly, almost shyly. I knelt down and extended my hand. He stopped, touched his nose to my hand, and then tears began streaming down my cheeks. Why was I crying at a first meeting with a dog? But I knew. Deep down, I knew. This was my dog. He would always be mine.
Oh.
It was like I had found a piece of myself that had been lost. I named him Wally. The first day I brought him home, he sniffed everything. Every corner, every object, every scent. Then he stood in the living room, looked at me, and started wagging his tail. Slow at first, then faster until his whole body was wiggling with joy. That's when I understood. He knew too. This was home. I see you still haven't subscribed, and that really makes me sad. This story is special for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because the best part is just beginning. The first few months weren't easy. Wally was a hurricane of energy. He jumped at everything, sniffed everything, explored every inch of our world together. He wanted to wake up at 6 a.m. and run. When I introduced him to other dogs at the park, he trembled with excitement. His tail would go wild, his ears would perk up, and he'd pull on the leash like he was meeting long-lost friends. But he was eager to learn. He improved with every command. When I said sit, he sat. When I said stay, he stayed. And when I called his name, he'd come running like I was the most important person in the world. Most importantly, he trusted me completely. When I took him to my mother's house for the first time, tension hung in the air. "Hello," my mother said with a distant smile. Her body language was stiff, cautious. Wally saw her and I waited. Would he act aggressively? Would he prove her fears right? No. He slowly approached, placed his head on my mother's knee, and looked up with those impossibly gentle eyes, as if saying, "I just want love." My mother's face softened. I saw the exact moment the walls came down. She reached out and stroked Wally's head. "He's so sweet," she whispered, surprise in her voice. Everything changed that day. Now we don't live together, but my mother regularly takes Wally with her. They have real dates: ice cream at the cafe, walks in the park, running on the grass. When Wally sees my mother's car pulling up, he trembles with his whole body. His ears perk up, his eyes shine, and his tail spins like a motor. Then this 70-pound ball of pure love junks onto her chest and presses himself completely against her. "Stop it," my mother says, laughing. "Look at me." And Wally looks at her with those deep brown eyes with infinite loyalty. The neighbors look at us differently now. "You have the perfect dog," they say. And they're right. But Wally isn't perfect because of his breed. It's because he was raised with love, because he was given a chance when so many others never get one. My mother has become a fierce Pitbull advocate. When someone says something bad about the breed, she immediately intervenes. "Wally showed me what these dogs can be like," she says with conviction. "He shattered every prejudice I had. I was wrong, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. And me? I'm grateful every single day. Wally taught me that no matter what society says, the truth is different. Pit bulls aren't monsters, they're just dogs. Incredible, loyal, gentle dogs who want nothing more than to love and be loved. They just need a chance." Wally became living proof. He shattered all the myths, rewrote every warning, and built a new image, real, sincere, and full of love. Last week, we met a woman in the park. Her young son saw Wally and wanted to run over, but she pulled him back sharply. "No, he's dangerous," she said firmly, looking at me half apologetically. I smiled gently. "If you allow it, your son can pet Wally. He's very gentle." The woman hesitated, uncertainty written across her face, but her son's insistence won out. The little boy approached slowly, extended his small hand, and Wally wagged his tail softly. He leaned his head against the boy's hand and stood completely still. He just allowed the love to flow. "Wow," the woman said, her voice softer now. "He's so sweet. I wasn't expecting that." "He's a pit bull," I said quietly, "and he's my best friend." The woman looked thoughtful. I could see her mind working, recalibrating everything she thought she knew. "Maybe I was wrong," she said finally. And that's the moment. That's why I'm telling Wally's story. Because every Wally can change someone's mind. Every story can break down a prejudice. Every interaction can plant a seed of understanding. If you love stories like this, if you believe that true love knows no breed, like this video and share your thoughts. Do you think society is unfair to pit bulls, or are they right to be cautious?